Hello, my name is Dwight Gillespie. Welcome back to the Change Your Life channel. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the notification. By all means, comment, share with your friends, all that good stuff. In the last video, if you watched it, we're doing a four-part thing, really, on how to really lead a mediocre life and what you can do to ensure that you have absolutely a mediocre existence and that you never really experience the full range of life. And I'm talking to about 90% of the people out there that already know. So the 5 to 10% of you who are actually doing something in your life, if you want to stop doing that, these are the things you can do to stop leading a really good life. And for those of you that are doing it, just continue, and you will continue to lead that mediocre life. And we talk about the cycle of mediocrity. And anyway, in the last one, we did be comfortable. Never go outside of your comfort zone, right? I would say, I'm good. I got to watch Cheers for the umpteenth time. I don't know if Sam and Diane are going to get together, okay, all right, have fun with that, right? And there are a lot of ways that we can do that, right? Sports is another way that people get lost in that crap. But anyway, we won't get into all that because that was last week's episode, or just, actually about 20 minutes ago. But anyway, so this next one is don't be accountable. Right? You really want to lead a meeting? Stop any kind of accountability, right? Ever. Don't ever be accountable. And here's what I mean by that, because if I'm accountable, yeah, well, kind of, sort of. And being accountable, there are different degrees of being accountable. A single mother who goes home every day, feeds her kids, she's working hard and all that stuff. She's accountable. She's accountable to the children or whatever. But there's another level of accountability for everybody, right? And what does that mean? Accountability is understanding that what got me where I am are my actions, that it really has nothing to do or very little to do. I won't say nothing, because there are people that have obstacles to overcome, in life. That's this, whatever. However, it is my belief that if you can find somebody who looks like you, who talks like you, who has your sexual preference, your skin tone, whatever it is, your gender identity, whatever it is, if that person is successful, well, that means you can be successful too. That means there isn't some unimaginable barrier that stands between you and success because of these things. What these things are is a lack of accountability. And again, it doesn't mean that things aren't hard. It means you have to work harder in certain instances to get to the same place. Granted. But it doesn't mean that it's impossible. But if you're going to sit there and you're going to say that I can't do this because of XYZ that's out of my control, you're not accountable. You're not accountable, because there's very little I can think of. Like I can't think of any scenario of a person who didn't make it somewhere because of any of these other barriers. And I always bring Oprah Winfrey to mind. She's one of my favorite favorite people to point to say, here's a woman who overcame, female, right? I think she was born in the 50s. Yeah. I don't know. Walter's going to look. I think she was born in the 50s, though. I think she's just older than me. Born in the 50s to an unwed teenage mother. Yeah, 54. So here it is in the deep South, Mississippi, in 1954. Not exactly a pro-black place, Jim Crow laws and all this stuff very well entrenched in the South. To a teenage unwed mother. Her father was a sharecropper. She was so poor, I remember the story about her mother like sewing together burlap sacks to make a dress for her to go to school. She had no shoes, and here's a woman who overcame these things, right? And now she's like the second or third wealthiest person in the world. And yeah, I'll stipulate woman, but she's a multi-billionaire, right? Because she didn't say to herself, well, I'm the product of a black unwed teenage mother in Mississippi in 1954. I'm never going to be anything, and it doesn't mean she didn't have a lot of barriers to cross, right? And a lot of things to overcome, but she was accountable. She was accountable. She worked hard. She was industrious. She did what she had to do. She put in the long hours and she made it, and she was successful. And if she can do it, why not you? Right? Accountability comes in so many forms too. I say that here's part of accountability for me, right? Part of accountability is knowing that I am the master of my fate. And what I mean by that is this. If I'm sitting back, right, and I say that my contentment is contingent upon somebody else. I have a good friend, and he says, in order for me to do something, my mother has to do this, and my father has to do that, and my girlfriend has to do. Well, where do you come in? Here's the thing, right? You don't like the rules of the house. I work with a lot of young men. Oh, I'm 30 years old and my mother's still telling me what to do. Well, here's a solution. Get out of your mother's house. Get out of your mother's house, right? Or don't complain about it. Be accountable for that. It's her rules because it's her fucking house. Excuse me. You'll beep that? Yeah. Gotcha. Thank you. Alphonse, I swear to God, I'm trying to clean it up. I really am. I mentioned Alphonse, like he's a dear friend. Anyway, being accountable is so important in life, and holding people accountable is also very important in life. And we can do both of these things. And it's hard to hold people accountable when we're not accountable ourselves. But one of the biggest transformations in my life was when I began to hold myself accountable. I used to suffer from severe depression. I'm talking, I've been on 3 locked wards for depression, for suicidal ideology. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called, yeah. For wanting to kill myself. Right? 3 times locked wards. And nothing really changed until I started to become accountable. My favorite thing was, you don't understand, right? And that you don't understand was how hard my life is. I was so self-centered, so self-absorbed, and lacked so much accountability that it was everybody's fault but my own. My kids died. My father killed himself. My mother was a narcissistic, insane person, right? All of these things, and all of them were true. All of them are true. You see, it doesn't mean it's not true. And that's the problem with unaccountability, is that all these things are true. These obstacles are real. They exist. They're not made up or imagined. Not always, anyway. Some people have really made up and imaginary obstacles. But if my enrichment is contingent upon somebody else's actions, I am not holding myself accountable. I'm not being accountable for anything at that point. It's all on you. I'm a victim. That makes me a victim. Somebody else has to do something and they're not doing it, and therefore it's not my fault. Why don't you get a job? Well, my wife was going to pick up the application at the post office, but she didn't bother to stop. Go to the post office and get easy. Well, I don't drive. I lost my license from 3 DUIs that I got, and so I can't drive. Walk. Well, it's so far, and I just I got so fat. Well, go on a diet. Well, yeah, but I like, and it goes. And I have people. I can't even really call them friends, because they're people who I finally say, okay, then you can't do it. Then you're right. You're intercoursed. Yeah, there you go, Alphonse. You're intercoursed because there's nothing you can do. You're a victim. You're and I'll agree with them. Why do you talk to me like that? Because you just told me you're a victim. You're a victim. You can't get up off your fat and do something about it. You can't go on a diet. You can't go get your own application. You can't go out. You can't. Enough. It wasn't until I became accountable that I decided, when people told me, because I had to buy into the idea, right, that I liked being depressed. I enjoyed this. You say, well, I had a friend, who you think I like being like that? I said, of course you do. What makes you say that? I said, for the same reason I said it to myself. When I finally got up off the couch is when I said, I must enjoy this, because I'm doing nothing to change it. There's Morita therapy. I've been reading. It's a great Eastern philosophy, right? What's his name? Shoma Morita. I think that was his name. I want to say Japanese fellow. He lived about the same time as Freud, and I've talked about him before. But he has this idea that you're going to feel these feelings, right? And unlike Western psychoanalysis, where we say, oh, well, what happened? Your mother didn't love you enough. You were breastfed too long. Not breastfed enough. I don't know. Whatever it was, like, we're going to delve into your past. Morita therapy says, well, feel those feelings, but do what you have to do anyway. Feel those feelings, but get off the couch and go to work. Feel those feelings, but pick up a book. Feel those feelings, but go clean the yard. Go clean your room. Go take a shower. Go take a walk. Feel the feelings, but do what you have to do. Do the next thing that you have to do. What do you have to do to get out of this? And here's how I dealt with it. Here's my lack of accountability. You don't understand. especially after the kids died. Forget it. You don't understand. Well, no, I don't understand. How does burying your son 3.5 years ago equate to you not taking a shower today? Like, I don't know. You're right. In fact, I had to say that to myself. That was my self-talk, right? And it wasn't 3.5 years by. It was more like 7. you know, how does that have anything to do with this? You're filthy because you don't bathe, not because your kids died 7 years ago. You're filthy because you don't bathe, right? You have no friends because you've pushed everybody away who would give you. The only people I wanted around me were people who go, "Oh, you poor thing." Those people will not help you. "Oh, you poor thing. Oh, you're right. Oh, can I get you something to eat? Do you want something to eat? Get you something to eat." That's no help. The people who helped me were the people who said, get off the couch. Go take a shower. We're going for a walk. Turn off this morbid music, right? If you're telling me you're depressed and you're sitting there listening to gangster rap or Pink Floyd or any of these things that, right, they are just depressing and non-uplifting and have absolutely no positive message to them whatsoever, what do you expect? This is the influence that you're going. And I love some of this music. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a big gangster rap guy because, well, if I was, it just wouldn't be cool, Yeah, I got Walter over here flashing me his gang signs. Yeah. Mount St. Holy's gang signs. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, this idea of accountability is so integral to my life. I hold myself accountable. I mean, look, nothing's perfect, right? But I do this to a great degree to get today where I never did, where I'm more open to constructive criticism because look, it's what makes it all work. And until you become accountable, until you're accountable to yourself, nothing, as I say, nothing gets done. There we go. The place is falling apart. Until you do that, nothing can possibly get done because you're a victim. If I'm not accountable, it's everything else. It's external to me. I'm a victim. And if you're a victim, there is absolutely nothing for you to change. It's society. You don't understand. I have a gender dysphoria. I don't care. But okay. All right. So you're a woman today. You're a guy tomorrow. What the does that have to do with you not getting off your ass, cleaning your room? What does that have to do with you not going out and getting a job? Be who you are. But everybody is prejudiced against me because of it. Well, maybe part of that's in your head. Maybe it's true. But in today's day and age, I don't think it is. And if it is, then you blow them up on TikTok like everybody else does. And then they get canceled for it. Like go out and do what you got to do. But people use these things as an excuse. It's not an excuse. Be accountable. Be accountable. I can't get a job. Why? Well, because blah, 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 blah. There's always something to do. I've only ever been unemployed in my life when I've wanted to be. And say, I can't find a job. Yeah, I looked. There was no job in the bathroom. I went there today. No job in the refrigerator. I was there. No job at the stove. The microwave, the stove, the microwave. No job in the microwave. I looked. I was looking. The couch. Nothing. You would think on a couch there'd be a job, but no, look at that. Where are you going? Where are you looking for this job? I have another friend. He's telling me he wants to get his life together. He said, this is going to be my year, he tells me. He says, he had a list of things he's got to do, and this is recent, and, he might watch, and because I haven't mentioned anything to him. I usually do. I call him out on this stuff, right? And I've left it till now. And he said, I gotta hire somebody to write my resume. I said, I'm a writer. I'm good at it too. I know how to bullshit, right? I know all about it. I know what companies want. I worked for a big corporation at one time. I know what they want to hear. Give it to me. Really? You'll help me with that? I said, yeah. I said, I tell you what, because he has a draft. It has to be updated because he works for another company. He said, this is all you got to do. I said, email me the copies of the draft that you already have, right? The current draft that you have. And email me the positions that you've held within your current company and what your duties and responsibilities are. And I'll craft it, to something in the management field that you want to go into. And he gave me some examples of jobs that he wanted to look for. I said, that's fine. I actually did research on these jobs, right? So I know what they're looking for. I get an idea of that. I've already done that. This was 2 weeks ago. I've yet to get an email from this guy. Now, this is the guy who's, I need this, I need that, I wanted to. I'm offering you a free service. I'm offering you my time, which I got to tell you something. If you have friends willing to spend their time on you, that's the most valuable resource they can give you. Cash means nothing. Money means nothing. It's a great tool, but it's meaningless compared to time, because time is finite. Everybody's time on this planet is finite. I'm willing to give you 2 or 3 hours of my time to work on this with you, but you aren't even willing to take that first step. And I'll talk to him next time, and he'll come, I still need to get the resume. Where is it? Well, I'm busy, doing what? Doing what? What could be more important than you're miserable where you are? You're miserable at work. You're miserable at home. You're miserable in your love life. You're miserable in your family life. How are you going to change this? Become accountable. Get off your and do something about it. Update that resume. Put that resume out. Go online. Go to these sites where you can. I won't mention them because they're not giving me any money for it. But there are sites that you can go out. You put your resume out there. You put what you want, and the headhunters will come. This is what you have to do. You don't even have to go door to door anymore. It was a time where you had to go to a company and put your resume. You can do all this crap from the comfort of your own freaking living room, and you're not willing to do it. You're not willing to send me the information to tell me what it is you even want to do. You just want to complain about it, right? And that's easy, man. And that's accountability. Accountability has everything to do with it. If you want to change your life, if you want to stop living in that cycle of mediocrity, if you want your children to not have to grow up and live like this, show them a different way. Because believe it or not, I don't care how young your kids are. Your kids learn from the time they're spit out, right? They're going to learn how to live a life. And if all you do is sit around and collect welfare or do whatever the hell it is you're doing, live off of somebody else, sponge off of other people, whatever it is, this is exactly what your kids are learning. And they're learning that that's the way that life is lived. So you have 2 or 3 kids by 2 or 3 different people or whatever, or you're a guy, you have a bunch of kids, and you're moving home with mom to take care of you. This is what your children are learning. That you don't have to be responsible and you don't have to be accountable. As long as somebody else is willing to forego it for you, that they're going to be accountable and they're going to take care of all your needs. And that's no way to live, man. That's a prison within itself. It's a prison in your own mind and in your own heart. And if you want to break out of that, become accountable. Listen, this is the Change Your Life channel. I always say podcast. I don't know, whatever the hell it is. This is Change Your Life. My name is Dwight Gillespie. I'm your host. If you haven't done so already, again, hit that subscribe, hit the like, hit the notification, all that good shit. By all means, comment. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. If you agree, let me know. It's important. It really is. This is really good stuff that we're talking about here. So get off your, do something with your life and live it to its fullest. My name is Dwight. Be well. Have a great week. Thank you.